Hi guys, welcome back to 30 days of If I Could Tell You Something. So today we're talking about silence. This is a beautiful lesson I learned from my dad a long time ago, and it's about knowing when to be quiet. And for me, this is a lesson I learned especially to do with like people in authority or people who I felt that had a stake in sort of like how my life was turning out at a point in my life. And I've carried on this lesson even in relationships and with different people. And it's been really valuable for me. And I thought I could offer it to you because sometimes you feel pressured by people to say something, to justify yourself, to like feel the silence, you know, and sometimes you end up saying something that you didn't really need to say. You've been in situations where, like, maybe say you're arguing with your friend or your spouse and you say something like, oopsie, I shouldn't have said that, but isha toka, when it's out, it's out. So I think there's wisdom in being quiet, especially when you look at the long game. What is the end game of this? Or like, what will I achieve even by speaking? Sometimes tunaongeanga tu tuongee. We just speak for the sake of speaking. But I think there's a lot of wisdom in just being quiet. When you're quiet, the truth comes out. When you're quiet, things unravel themselves by themselves. I remember being in a situation a couple of years ago, and I'd broken off with someone, and they went ahead and said a lot of things about me and about why we had broken off that situation, and I responded in silence because silence is a response, guys. So I responded in silence, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to try and defend myself. Jumi najijua, I know who I am. I know what role I played in the relationship. I know what role I played in the situation, and I do not need to defend myself to anyone. I have to tell you, it took a couple of years for the truth to come out, but it came out, and I maintained my silence because I was like, I'm not going to stand up here and say XYZ, nini, and try and be like, oh, it's Nani versus Nani. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's me versus them, what they say versus what I say. Silence was the key in that situation for me, because when I was quiet, things then came out, the lies came out and the truth came out even brighter. People were able to see the situation for itself. So don't feel pressured to speak when you know that there's no value in you speaking. There's lots of wisdom in just being quiet, being silent, just letting things play out. So in 2026, you'll find yourself in situations where you feel like in London they say what? No, they don't actually say what, they say whoa. So you'll find yourself in situations maybe where you feel like whoa, like inside, not like you're a gentle person and you can't say whoa like that, but if you find yourself in situations where you feel like Nini, just chill, take a breather, And it's easy. You just breathe like this. You breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. It does the trick. It calms you down quickly. We can do it together if you want. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in through the nose. And you breathe in 3 times. So it's in graduating. You know what I mean. So let's go. I don't know if you feel like that calmed you down, but like it shushes you nicely. So I guess that's my 30 days, my tip for 30 days of If I Could Tell You Something. Aki nimechoka wase, but you know what I'm saying. I'm usually recording these videos on Sundays mostly at night, so I'm proper knackered. But yes, this year, just try and go into situations with silence and see how it works out for you. And I'm not saying don't defend yourself. because I believe there's situations where that needs to happen, but there's situations where you're like, actually, I don't need to say anything. This thing will play itself out, I don't always need to defend myself. I don't need to be the last man standing or the one saying I'm right, Sometimes just be quiet. And it's usually very uncomfortable at first, Unajua, when you're arguing with someone and na umenyamaza tu uko tu. Okay. Can get a bit awkward, but stay in that awkwardness. There's going to be good that will come out of it. So yeah, practice some silence this year, and I'll see you in my next episode. And thank you for those who have subscribed. Keep on subscribing. I'll keep releasing this, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.